Hey everybody, welcome to TIW Podcast. I'm Eric, and today I watched WWE NXT episode 559, and I sort of watched NXT UK episode 91, broadcast on April 29th and 30th, 2020. So real quick, first, I just want to mention the matches that are on this week's NXT UK. They are not brand new, but they're matches that have not been broadcast as part of other episodes yet. So these were previously dark matches. Two of them were for Download Festival, last year's Download Festival, and then two of them were from various tapings, regular NXT UK tapings. So first up, we had Deonna Purrazzo challenge Toni Storm for the NXT UK Women's Championship. That was at Download Festival. Then we had Matt Riddle versus Ligero. I'm not sure where that was, but it was not at Download Festival. Isla Dawn versus Shayna Baszler. I think that was also at Download Festival. And then Ilya Dragunov versus A-Kid. So I have not had a chance to watch these yet, so I don't know if they're super great or anything, but if you like any of those people, then that's a match you haven't seen before on this week's NXT UK. That's awesome. So this episode is also hosted by Tom Phillips, and he was there in front of the video board like he was for this week's NXT. So that's a cool way to kind of wrap around everything, tie everything together, and I like that format, especially for this kind of thing where it's taken us back to past matches, that we have somebody like on location. He's not on a virtual set, he's there in the performance center, and I think that's pretty cool. Okay, so NXT episode 559, there's a title match for the main event, Keith Lee versus Damian Priest. It's been building up for a couple of weeks now. We had a nice tweet from not a nice tweet, an interesting tweet from Dominik Dijakovic explaining why he didn't come to help Keith Lee last week when he got attacked. And he said, basically, well, last time I went out there to help him, he powerbombed me, so like, why would I do that? We did get a video promo from Dijakovic. Everything is a video promo. We're watching on video, but off location, from a remote location, he's taking a walk outside or something. But he is targeting Johnny Gargano because he thinks Johnny Gargano is a punk. Not his words; those are my words. But he challenges him for a match next week. Because Johnny's being disrespectful. So our opening match, back on commentary, Mauro Ranallo and Beth Phoenix. Happy to have them back. And Tom Phillips is the third on commentary for this. And then we also had an appearance by Byron Saxton, who hosted a brand new show, the Newly Bros show. And it seemed like he really had a lot of fun doing that show. But our opening match for the night was Phantasma versus Swerve, part of the interim cruiserweight championship tournament, and Swerve won this matchup via a roll-up. But then afterwards, in the arena, not even out in the parking lot, Phantasma is attacked, is tried to another attempted abduction by the masked kidnappers. And I'm thinking more and more, these guys are working for Phantasma, and this is all a ploy to make it seem like they aren't working for him, because he can't be behind it if they're trying to kidnap him. So he's trying to cover up these past crimes to get away with it by having them attack himself. Very suspicious that he's able to get away from them twice now. If they keep going after him, it's getting more and more suspicious. They have him go after somebody else, like, to break it up a little bit. This is just how it would go. Unless he actually is innocent and he's the victim here, and they really want to kidnap him. What are they doing with them? Are they, like, locked away in a warehouse somewhere? I don't know. Will we ever find out? I don't know. I hope so. Candice LeRae is now the Poison Pixie or the pint-sized poison, depending on which graphic you look at. She faces off against Casey Catanzaro. Candice LeRae wins via the Wicked Stepsister, and then afterwards she goes back into the ring and hits the Gargano escape on Casey to add insult to injury, etc. Johnny Gargano being really over the top, obnoxious, silly even, and it's what he's doing. I don't know. So I'm looking forward to Dijakovic just tossing him like through the roof. Like he just literally throw. Okay, so Dijakovic, I think, is at the same power level basically as Keith Lee. Just skipping forward a little bit, Keith Lee, Damian Priest is huge. Keith Lee just hucked him from outside of the guardrails to the ring, like onto the apron. That's ridiculous. It would be more ridiculous if you threw him over the top rope into the ring from that far away. But like Damian Priest is like at least 250, 275 pounds. Actually, I'm going to look that up. Let's see. Damian Priest. Punishment Martinez, a.k.a. The Wikipedia page still calls him Punishment Martinez. 249. I was pretty close. That is nuts. Let's see if Dijakovic is on here. Okay, he's 270. So, yeah, he's taller than Damian Priest, I think. 6'7". He's billed at 6'7". Damian Priest is billed at 6'5". Okay, so there you go. Anyway, man, Dijakovic is gonna mess Johnny Gargano up bad, and I'm excited to see that. Then we had the Newly Bros show. Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher get to know each other a little bit, and Riddle gets all of the questions right because they're really silly answers. This is kind of a spin on original NXT that they had, like the Know Your Rookie thing. So it was kind of the same bit, and then with the cheating and whatnot, from that when Daniel Bryan and The Miz, I think they cheated together or whatever. Anyway. Not that way. They cheated in the game. But Imperium attacks them, and I'm excited to see that match. That's going to be amazing. Whenever that happens, probably like in 2 or 3 weeks. But we have 2 title matches next week. Adam Cole versus Velveteen Dream for the NXT Championship, and Charlotte Flair versus Io Shirai for the NXT Women's Championship. And that brings us to this next segment, Mia Yim versus Charlotte, non-title match. Charlotte wins via figure 8, but this match was pretty great. Mia is awesome. I was not really expecting her to win, but she got some great moves in there. And I mostly want to see Mia kick her in the face, and I think she did at least once. So next week, Io comes out, and she says, next week, you're mine. And so next week, we get that championship match, and I really, really hope that Io wins, because that'd be great. And then Charlotte can just go back to Raw, just stay on, just appear on Raw. Like, if you have somebody that's going to appear on both, have it be like somebody like super exciting to see. But I don't know. So on one hand, we've had a lot of Charlotte has had a lot of matches since WrestleMania, and they've all been against NXT people. But she could have been doing that without being the champion. Like, she doesn't need to be the champion to be doing that, especially since none of those matches are championship matches. Anyway. And Io Shirai has been the number 1 contender since the week after WrestleMania. So it's like she's just having all these other matches anyway in the first place. And that doesn't really like elevate all of them, all the people that she's beating. I don't know. it's like, okay, so none of them are gonna be able to beat her to become the champion. But hopefully Io Shirai does. Anyway, I'm excited for that match because hopefully Io wins. Then we had Dexter Lumis versus Shane Thorne. Dexter Lumis is so hot right now. It's great. I like him more and more every week. Also realized he looks a lot like the character Ike on Tacoma FD. And now, like, I can't get that out of my head at all. And every time I see him, I'm thinking, oh, that he's... Okay, this is the character we're seeing on screen, but I think he's actually this dopey, really buff guy who's also a stripper on the side. And that adds even more hilarity and interest to that. But anyway, Dexter Lumis wins. He's awesome. And then we have Tony Nese versus Drake Maverick, another interim cruiserweight championship tournament match. Drake Maverick wins via diving bulldog. Amazing. He gives us passionate promo afterwards. He's like, I'm not going anywhere. And now, like, if he had lost this match, it's like there's no way that his record is too bad to get into the final. But now he wins his next match. He's going to that final. He's gonna win this thing. He's gotta win this thing. But still, like I've mentioned before, it's weird either way. Him getting released, if he actually was released, they're letting him, and they're making this a storyline, or if he wasn't actually released and they made a storyline that he is released while everybody else actually was. Either way, it's weird, but it is pretty exciting to watch. Like, the on-screen aspect of it is pretty cool. Either way, but it's still weird either way, and really questionable. But the story itself that we're seeing, it's fun to watch, but still really weird. We'll find out eventually, maybe, or maybe never. I don't know. Keith Lee versus Damian Priest in the main event. Like I said, Keith Lee threw Priest from outside of the guardrails onto that was insane. There's a few other really insane moments as well, but that was the main one. That was the only one that I wrote down. And Damian Priest tried to cheat. So he went to grab the North American Championship, and that distracted the referee. He's like, hey, get that out of here. And the ref is like handing it off to somebody. As his back is turned, Damian Priest also had his nightstick, which Dominik Dijakovic in his tweet called it like a sex toy or something. Like, that's a very different type of... Anyway, I guess he could use it for that. Anyway, he goes to hit Keith Lee with it, but he grabs his hand, stops it right before it hits him in the face, and then hits him with the Spirit Bomb, and it remains the North American champion. I saw a lot of people saying, oh, there's no way Velveteen Dream is winning next week. I agree with that. But everybody's saying that Keith Lee should be the next NXT champion, but that would mean that he has to give up the North American Championship to somebody, whatever. I disagree. I think that he will be the first one to have both championships at the same time. Because back before he won the North American Championship, he mentioned that he wanted all of the things, and that is one of the things that is included with all of the things. And I think all of the things he meant having them all at once. So I think he will be the first NXT and North American champion in history. Well, North American Championship has only been around a couple of years now anyway, but yeah, that's going to be good. And then he goes after the tag team championships at the same time. Gets all the championships, because I think Imperium will win the championships off of Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher. I still don't know if they've had like two title defenses now as a team, or maybe just the one. I don't know, but I think that's a plausible way to get that off of them. Imperium takes care of it. And then we get to see Keith Lee and Dominik Dijakovic team back up again and just destroy Imperium, because they don't have Walters at their back. They don't have Alexander Wolf at their back. It's just Marcel Bartel and Fabian Eichner there. I mean, they're formidable opponents, but Keith Lee and Dominik Dijakovic would destroy them easily. So that's what I hope happens. I don't know how likely any of that is, but okay. If we're talking about Keith Lee becoming the next NXT champion. So that's it. Let me know what you thought about this week's NXT and especially NXT UK. Those brand new matches from last year. They both, all four of those matches look like they could be pretty great. For different reasons. But tweet me at TIW Podcast. Go to TIWpodcast.com for more reviews. If you enjoyed this episode or anything else on the site, please share some links with your friends. Subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, wherever you like to listen. Stay safe, healthy, and happy out there in all the infinite multiverses. And I'll see you next time here on TIW Podcast. Bye.